Hello everyone, if you're new here, welcome. My name is Keisha and today I'm going to be talking about all the books that I hope to read in the month of May. Well, you guys, I'm kind of in a reading slump, which I really wanted to mood read May, and I am going to get to a little bit, but I ended up planning a readathon with my friend Ashley the first week of May, so we'll see how much mood reading I will be able to get done. I do have about 11 books on my list here today. I don't know if I'm going to get to all of them or not. I hope to, but just know that this very well could change and there could be some books that I don't get to or some books that I switch out later in the month. First up, I'm going to start with my Boookathon TBR. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I'm going to go ahead and link my Boookathon announcement up above and down below in the description box. This is a spooky middle grade readathon that I'm hosting with my friend Ashley from the Bent Biblios podcast. We both really wanted to host a readathon, and I've had the idea to host a spooky middle grade readathon for quite some time now, because as you all know, I love spooky middle grade books. So this was the time. We're at the halfway to Halloween mark, and so I really wanted to host this readathon with Ashley. So it's going to be from May 1st to May 7th, and we've got lots of fun prompts, lots of fun things you can get involved with, so definitely check out the announcement video. As for what I'll be reading for that readathon, the first book is going to be Strange Star by Emma Carroll. This is a book that I'm super excited to read because Emma Carroll wrote Letters from the Lighthouse, which I read earlier this year, and I absolutely loved it. So I'm hoping that Emma Carroll can become a new favorite author for me. She is supposedly the queen of historical fiction in middle grade, so I'm very excited to get to this one, and this one has a really fun, spooky twist. It says the year of 1816 felt extraordinary, and all because of a strange sort of star in the sky. Lake Geneva, Switzerland. Early one morning, a servant boy named Felix delivers an invitation. Tonight at the mysterious Villa Diodati, there will be ghost stories that promise to freeze the blood. As darkness falls, the guests arrive. The storytelling begins. Then comes an unexpected knock at the door. Felix discovers a girl on the doorsteps. She's traveled a long way to tell her tale, and now he must listen. But be warned, hers is no ordinary ghost story. Sometimes the truth is far more terrifying. I'm very excited to read this. This is supposed to be kind of like a gothic, thriller, historical, mystery, spooky book, and it has elements of Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. So I'm very excited to pick this one up. It's actually our group read for Boookathon, so if you think this sounds good and want to pick it up for Boookathon, definitely check it out. Next up, one of our prompts was to read a book with a spooky word in the title, and that is going to be The Ghouls of Hell by Nick Tomlinson. I've really been itching to get to this one because I've seen it around here and there, but I haven't heard a whole lot of people talking about this one. All I know about it is that it follows young historian Molly Thompson, and she suspects that the creepy legends of Hellfair are true, but her mom stops her research, so she doesn't need to be messing with this stuff, but now she's going to have to take matters into her own hands to figure out if these legends are actually true. The next prompt for Boookathon was to pick a book with something on the cover that scares you, which I actually can't show you on this one. I can on the bookmark, but it's not on the back because I do have an ARC of the Clackity by Laura Simpf. I am so excited to read this book. This is one of my most anticipated middle grade spooky books of the year, and the author so kindly sent this to me, and she also sent me a couple of cute spooky bookmarks that she signed. So this has a really creepy deer on the cover. On the back of the bookmark it says, "Some shadows are best left in the dark." And then I also have another one, and this is actually what's going to be on the back cover that scares me. So it's got like the creepy eyes and the creepy smile. So that's what scares me definitely about these. So thank you so much again, Laura, for sending me these. It literally just made my life, and she personalized the book, and it just made my life. So I'm very excited to read the Clackity. I really feel like it's going to be a good one. The synopsis says, "Some shadows are best left in the dark. Evie Von Rath lives in Blight Harbor, the 7th most haunted town in America, with her aunt Desdemona, the local paranormal expert. Des has only one rule: stay out of the abandoned slaughterhouse at the edge of town. But when Des goes missing, Evie has no choice but to enter the ominous building. There she meets the Clackity, a creature that lives in the shadows of the slaughterhouse. The shifty entity will help Evie get Des back for a price. She must find the ghost of John Jeffrey Pope, a serial killer who once terrorized Blight Harbor. Evie agrees to enter a chilling other world filled with hungry witches, penny-eyed ghosts, and other dangerously fickle beings, all while being pursued by a dead man who wants to add Evie to his collection of victims. Will she ever find Des, or is the Clackity plotting something far more sinister?" Y'all, that sounds so good. This better, oh my gosh, this better be a new favorite book. I hope it is. No pressure, Laura Simph, but I'm probably gonna love it either way. There are some illustrations in here as well, which you guys know, if you give me a spooky middle grade plus illustrations, I'm totally down, because illustrations just make a book even more spooky and awesome. So I'm very excited to read this one. I was planning on reading a different book for this next prompt, but I decided to pick a graphic novel, which, by the way, is not the type of graphic novel that I thought it would be, so it's a little bit longer than I expected, but hopefully it'll be okay. The next prompt was to read a book with mixed media or illustrations, and so I was recommended No Place for Monsters by Corey Merritt. So I've never seen this one around. It gives me kind of like Phineas and Ferb vibes from the characters, the way that they're illustrated. Don't know anything about this one, so I'm going to read the back of this as well. It says, Levi and Kat are about to discover a very dark side to their neighborhood. Nothing ever seems out of place in Cowslip Grove. Lawns are neatly mowed, sidewalks are tidy, and the sounds of ice cream trucks fill the air. But now, kids have been going missing, except no one even realizes it, because no one remembers them. Not their friends, not their teachers, not even their families. But Levi and Kat do remember, and suddenly only they can see why everyone is in terrible danger when the night air rolls in. A terrifying presence lurks nearby in a place no one could have imagined, and it's up to Levi and Kat to fight it and save the missing kids before it swallows the town whole. So that does sound very good. I'm hoping I enjoy it, but I was expecting a graphic novel in like all color graphic novel format, and this is more one of those graphic novels that has like pictures on each page and they're black and white. So we'll see how I like this. I haven't read many books like this, so we'll see. It is thicker than I thought it was going to be too, but hopefully it's still an easier, quicker read, because I'm very intimidated to try to read 4 books in a week for Boookathon. Next up, I want to talk about another readathon. So Liv from Liv's Library has a Discord group that I will link down below for those of you who are interested in participating in readathons, like 24-hour readathons. She tries to do one once a month, and this month she's going to be doing one on May 13th and 14th. And the goal obviously is to read as much as you want to, 1 book, multiple books in 24 hours. And the theme for this readathon is going to be like nighttime themed or space themed or anything that reminds you of kind of like night, I guess. So because you're staying up all night to read, supposedly. I'm not going to be staying up all night to read. I will sleep during the 24 hours and I may extend it through Sunday, but I did want to participate in that, and I'm going to try to vlog that as well. I'm also going to try to vlog Boookathon. We'll see how that goes, but I did pick up 2 books, and I hope that I can get to both of them. It intimidates me to try to read so much like in a short amount of time, so we'll see how this goes. But the 2 books that I chose are Lightfall, The Girl and the Galdurian by Tim Probert. I chose this because when it's nighttime, the light falls. I may be stretching this a bit. I don't care. I want to read this graphic novel because I've heard so many good things about it. I'm not going to read the back to you guys because I don't want to spoil myself for it. But the illustrations are really pretty. I know this is like a fantasy, maybe sci-fi graphic novel, and I'm very excited to read it. Like I said, I don't want to spoil myself. There is a second book that just recently came out or is about to come out. So I want to get to this one. So if I love it, I can pick up the second one. The next book I have is The Last Quintista by Donna Barbara Higuera. I heard a lot about this one during Middle Grade March from Krista from Books and Jams, Amanda from The Curly Reader, and Katie from Life Between Words. So they seem to really like this one and rave about it. Also, this cover is absolutely stunning. I mean, it looks great when you see pictures of it, but when you see it in person, it's even better. And then under the dust jacket, you have like this snake that wraps all the way around the book. It is gorgeous. So this is actually a sci-fi. It's a middle grade sci-fi, and I haven't read a lot of sci-fi, but the sci-fi that I have read is middle grade. And I'm so excited because Kendal from Bookphoria actually sent this to me. So Kendal, you're the sweetest person. Thank you so, so much. This is perfect because I was trying to figure out what to read for Liv's Readathon, 24-hour Readathon. So I think I'm gonna read this one. You guys, please don't judge me for my Spanish. I have taken Spanish courses, but I'm still not fluent. So if I pronounce something wrong, I apologize. This says, Había una vez, a girl named Petra Peña who wanted nothing more than to be a storyteller like her abuelita. But Petra's world is ending. Earth has been destroyed by a comet, and only a few hundred scientists and their children, among them Petra and her family, have been chosen to journey to a new planet. They are the ones who must carry on the human race. Hundreds of years later, Petra wakes to this new planet and the discovery that she is the only person who remembers Earth. A sinister collective has taken over the ship during its journey, bent on erasing the sins of humanity's past. They have systematically purged the memories of all aboard or purged them altogether. Petra alone now carries the stories of our past, and with them any hope for our future. Can she make them live again? So it says this author presents us with a brilliant journey through the stars to the very heart of what makes us human. I feel like this is going to be hard-hitting, but also very good. And I really hope I like it, because I would like to get into more sci-fi books, and I feel like middle grade is a good place to start. I did read The Line of Mars last year, and that was sci-fi, and I really enjoyed it, but I feel like this is going to take even a deeper dive into it. So definitely excited to pick this one up. I'm also going to be continuing Find Your People, Building Deep Community in a Lonely World by Jenny Allen. I am buddy reading this with Liv, Lauren, and Elizabeth. We decided to pick this one up together because a couple of us had read Jenny Allen's book last year and really enjoyed it. And we thought this would be fun as a friend group to kind of explore friendships as an adult, because you guys probably know this if you're an adult. It's a little bit more difficult to make friends than when you're in school, because you kind of have people at your corner, but when you get out in the world, it's a little different. Unless you have work friends, it's kind of hard to connect with people. So this just kind of talks about our innate desire for belonging and to be with a group of people, to have that inner circle group of friends, and kind of how to build healthy friendships, how to be a good friend, what type of friend you are. And this book has already challenged us, I know, and we aren't even halfway through it yet. This is about how far we are as I'm speaking now. And so yeah, we're gonna continue this. It's definitely gonna be interesting because it's already challenging me, and it's challenging me to reach out and actually make things happen with the advice that's given in this book. Jenny Allen is a Christian author, so this does have a Christian basis for everything that she's teaching. So I'm very excited to continue this with the girls and learn about all these different aspects of how to breed healthy friendships. Then I have a couple of new releases that I am so excited about. So if I don't get to any other book this month, I will get to this one, because you guys already know Jennifer McMahon had a new book come out at the end of April, and I hadn't had a chance to get to it yet. And now I have Boookathon, but as soon as I'm finished with Boookathon, you best believe I'm picking up The Children on the Hill. Jennifer McMahon is my all-time favorite author right now, and I'm very excited to get to this one. A couple of my friends have already read it, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to wait a week, which I don't, but I don't feel like I'll read the 4 books for Boookathon if I try to like read this one on top of it, because this will just consume me. But this is a book that is, gosh, just, I'm so anticipating it. It's a dual timeline, Frankenstein inspired story. I'm going to read the synopsis because I will not do it justice. The first timeline is set in 1978. At her renowned treatment center in picturesque Vermont, the brilliant psychiatrist Dr. Helen Hildreth is acclaimed for her compassionate work with the mentally ill. But when she's home with her cherished grandchildren, Violet and Eric, she's just Gran, teaching them how to take care of their pets, preparing them home-cooked meals, and providing them with care, attention, and love. Then one day, Gran brings home a child to stay with the family. Iris, silent, hollow-eyed, skittish, and feral, does not behave like a normal girl. Still, Vi is thrilled to have a new playmate. She and Eric invite Iris to join their monster club, where they catalog all kinds of monsters and dream up ways to defeat them. Before long, Iris begins to come out of her shell. She and Vi and Eric do everything together. Ride their bicycles, go to the drive-in, meet at their clubhouse in secret to hunt monsters. Because as Vi explains, monsters are everywhere. Then we have the 2019 timeline. Lizzie Shelley, the host of the popular podcast Monsters Among Us, is traveling to Vermont, where a young girl has been abducted and a monster sighting has the town in an uproar. She's determined to hunt it down because Lizzie knows better than anyone that monsters are real, and one of them is her very own sister. So, this just sounds so good. I really hope it's good. I haven't read a Jennifer McMahon that has topped The Winter People for me yet. So I kind of want this to be right up there with it or top it, but I just don't know if it's going to. It was the first book I ever read by her, but I have high hopes for this one, so I'm very excited to read it soon. Then I have another new release, and that is The Edge of In-Between by Lorelei Savrin. This is being pitched as a Secret Garden reimagining. We all know that I have just started having this obsession with The Secret Garden since I read it. So I had to pick this up. The cover is so pretty. I love it so much. So let me tell you a little bit about this one. Lottie lives in Vevelle, a vibrant city where life exists in brilliant technicolor and everyone is born with magic. And Lottie is no exception. But when tragedy strikes, color is stripped from Lottie's heart and from the world around her. Taken in by her reclusive, eccentric uncle, Lottie moves into Forsaken, a vast manor located in the gray wasteland between the land of the living and ever after, the land of the dead. There, Lottie discovers more secrets and mysteries than she ever dreamed possible. A locked up garden, a wise cardinal, a hidden boy, and a family whose world is full of color despite the bleakness around them. Though Lottie feels nothing but despair, the people and things she encounters in Forsaken begin to pull at the threads of her heart, slowly returning some of the color to Lottie's world. And then everything changes once more. When splintered magic threatens to consume everyone and everything she holds dear, Lottie must find a way to thaw the world and the hearts of those around her before time runs out. I love it. It's already, obviously it's got the Secret Garden vibes. It's got a little bit of those elements from that story. I'm very excited to read this one, so hopefully I will be able to get to it this month because I just feel like I'm going to love it. I do have 2 more books here, and these are just kind of random books that I've really wanted to pick up. So you guys might have seen Megan Golden's new book come out called Stay Awake, and it has been pitched as this book where this woman goes home to her apartment and then it's not her apartment anymore, and the person that lives there is like, you haven't lived here for 2 years, and so she's trying to get back those years of her life. So I've been hearing everybody talk about this, and I'm like, that reminds me of a book that I have on my shelves that I feel like I'm gonna love, and I keep putting it off, so let me see if I can fit it in this month. And that book is Have You Seen Me by Kate White. This is a mystery thriller suspense novel, and it also focuses on like memory loss. So it says, on a cold, rainy morning, finance journalist Allie Linden arrives soaked to the bone at her Manhattan office, only to find that she's forgotten her key card. When her boss shows up, he's shocked to see her because he explains she hasn't worked there in 5 years. Allie knows her name, but is having trouble coming up with much beyond that. Though after a trip to the psychiatric ER, she begins to piece together important facts. She lives on the Upper West Side. She's now a freelance journalist. She's married to a terrific man named Hugh. More memories materialize, and yet she still can't recall anything about the previous 2 days. Diagnosed as having experienced a dissociative state, she starts to wonder if it may have been triggered by something she saw, an accident or worse, or if a trauma from her childhood has risen to the surface. Desperate for answers, Allie tries to track where she spent the missing days, but every detail she unearths points to an explanation that's increasingly ominous, and it's clear someone wants to prevent her from learning where those 48 hours went. In order to uncover the truth, Allie must dig deep into the secrets of her past and outsmart the person who seems determined to silence her. Does that not sound good? Why are more people not talking about this book? I think it's a couple of years old, but I have not heard that many people talk about it. It came out in 2020, and it just sounds so good. So I hope I can get to this one this month. If not, it'll just be on another later TBR from me. But if I do get around to it, if I'm not in a super big reading slump, this is definitely going to be a mood read for me because I really want to get to it. And the last book that I have today is called The Silent Companions by Laura Purcell. I've not heard of this author or this book before up until recently when I saw somebody post about it on Instagram, and I saw this cover. And this is honestly what sold me at first. Like, first sale was the cover. It's so pretty, and the way, I didn't even know it did this, but like it opens up onto this, okay? So how cool is that? I wasn't sure about it though. I read the synopsis. The synopsis sounded intriguing, but it wasn't until I read the first 10 pages using the preview feature on Goodreads that I was like, okay, I have to know more. So this is about newly married, newly widowed Elsie, who is sent to see out her pregnancy at her late husband's crumbling country estate, The Bridge. With her new servants resentful and the local villagers actively hostile, Elsie has only her husband's awkward cousin for company, or so she thinks. For inside her new home is a locked room, and beyond its door lies a 200-year-old diary hinting at the house's dark past, and a deeply unsettling painted wooden figure, a silent companion, that bears a striking resemblance to Elsie herself. So let me tell you, this does not pique my interest. The cover that's on Amazon does not pique my interest. This cover, that synopsis, and the first 10 pages that start off with this woman, I believe, in like a, I don't know if it's a psych ward, it's St. Joseph's Hospital. That is what intrigued me. So I know this has historical elements. I know this is set in an era. I don't know what this era is. You guys can tell me because I'm not familiar. I don't ever remember what the eras are called, but it's not something I typically would read. I don't really like that era in time. But this has piqued my interest a lot, and I really want to love this book, so I'm gonna check it out. If you guys have read it, let me know down in the comments what you thought and if you think I will like it, but I'm definitely very intrigued by this one. Okay friends, that is all I have for you today. That is quite a few books to try to read when I'm in a reading slump, but like I said, I do want to kind of mood read a little bit if I can, and hopefully I will want to get to all these because the desire to read them is there, but when I actually sit down to read, I have trouble focusing. My phone probably doesn't help that, and the fact that I've recently become addicted to paper I/O. If you know, you know, but I feel like I'm a little behind on that, and I just found it, and now it's taking over my life. If you don't mind and you're new here, please go ahead and subscribe down below if you'd like to see more videos from me, and give this video a big thumbs up if you liked it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate all of you, and I've really loved getting to know some of you more recently, because I feel like some more people have kind of come along on my channel, and so I'm making some new friends. It makes me super happy. So thank you guys for supporting my channel and for being here and chatting books with me. I love books, and there's just not like a ton of people in my close proximity life that enjoy reading as much as I do. So it's been super great to make friends with you guys through BookTube, through Bookstagram. So thank you for watching, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye, friends.